on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hope all's well, everyone. The final of the 2021 National Open. Two guys fairly accustomed to playing on the last day of a tournament. Camden Riviere, John Lumley. Playing the best 3 out of 5 sets. Should be a fantastic match. For those of you who couldn't be here with us in New York, we just had a moment of silence. The court tennis community lost one of its very best members in Temple Grassi a bit over a week ago, and in a nice moment of silence both on court and in the Pell Room. Temple was a member here and means a ton to all of us. One of the most generous and dedicated people in our game. He and his family have been part of just about every big project and every fundraise and player development, new courts, old courts, everything. We miss you, Temple. You're still here with us, but just in a different way. I think you've taught us all a lot about ourselves. I know, definitely true for me at least. Just sorting our mics out here. So just bear with us. About a couple minutes to start. As always, please chime in on the stream. Want to hear from you. Let us know how we're doing or not doing. Galleries are definitely filling up now. It's great to have galleries again. Been a good long time since these guys will have played in front of a gallery like this. These guys, no stranger to each other. Both doubles partners, occasionally, and very close friends. Camden, still based in South Carolina, but definitely see him up here in the Northeast fairly frequently. John Lumley, Racket Club of Philadelphia for many years now. Love to see some support from both our South Carolina contingent as well as our Philadelphia contingent, so don't be shy. Josh Dodson will be your marker. When you're ready, level, play. Saving the best for last. Here we go.
love. Time, please.
Straight back into the high serve we were just seeing in the below zero final. Quite interesting how the lefties sort of bend that ball in. Got our first grill, everyone.
15 all.
I think that bell's going to get some use today. Nice to see you, Mr. Hodges, on the stream. John with the early game ball here. Camden's been struggling with a little bit of a stomach bug this week, unfortunately, but still able to represent in a way that most of us just dream of. Hi, Chris. Camden's mom. Massive supporter of Camden. Always at the big events, World Championships.
Advantage receiver.
Did a fantastic coloring book with Camden's girlfriend. My kids loved it. So great work there, Chris. Send me 5 more. Great pressure from John.
Thank you. First game. One game to
In the first game for John. Both these guys playing pretty tidy right now. A little bit on the traditionalist side. Maybe a little more than we'll see later, but great get from Camden. John will be disappointed though. I think he had a little more time than he thought there. He's got to be able to play from underneath the grill and neutralize the point. Camden's just so good on cut volley, responding down the line, missing the tambour. John's got to dictate from there. Can't fall victim to playing Camden's points here. Wow.
Game 1, game all.
1-all quickly. John's hair looking great as always. A little shaky here. Excited to see these guys settle in. Both on the fitness and rallying side, you're looking at top 2 guys in the world probably. So we'll see about that hazard. Had a little talk about this with a few of the guys. Is it right to leave that hazard, chase the door and play already? John's already coming over. Let's see what the marginal benefit is of leaving that hazard.
Score is 15 love, receiver leads. First chase is the door. Chase. 30 love, second chase, hazard better than the first gallery. Hazard better than the first.
So the answer is yes, was worth leaving. Good to know these things. John Terrell rode a little erratic in the early going. Seeing a lot of bobbles for second serve. Try not to give the receiver any pace to work with. Good rally there. A bit more like it. Eric Barker, how you doing, bud? Hope to see you for Whitney, if not even silver racket. Nice volley from John, flattening it out. Nick under the grill.
Time, John. 15 love receiver.
Hey Shep, how you doing? Shep's gift, great tournament. Running through the wall as usual. Doesn't lack any courage. I think we could all use a little Shep's gift.
Chase. 3 yards. 15 love. Receiver leaves.
That's the ball that gets rewarded in New York. that low backspin drive. Nick, partial Nick, stays down. Great point here. Very atypical of Camden. Good shot, Cam.
30-15.
Tidy ball. Tidy ball from John.
Time, please.
Playing against the greatest player of the last 10 years or something like that. Just can't give him opportunities. John can cut those down. He's got a shot here. But he's got to be measured. And he can't let Camden dictate how the points go. Like that.
40-30 and a chase of 3 yards.
Definitely a huge shout out to Ryan Carey, one of the biggest contributors to the game today. Remember when streaming first started, looked like playing Snake on your Nokia. And now Ryan's just unbelievable. We know here from the technical crews that we've had in that he's actually 4 or 5 people all at once, and he's all ours. We're very lucky to have him. Thank you, Ryan. Working with some unfamiliar technology this week, but making the best of it, and all with a smile. Legend. Wow. Bando Boast. Great get, Cam. Grill Nick.
Advancing server.
Good switch right there.
2 games all.
Right in your face. Hey Randy, how you doing, man? Looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Norris Jordan. Hope to see a lot of the Philly favorites down there. A couple weeks, U.S. Open. Unfortunately, we're without our brethren from abroad, but nonetheless, Philly's always a great time. Fantastic club, great members, obviously, great staff. And they'll be thrilled to see John pushing Camden here. It's a great time. Works on his game as hard, if not harder, than anyone else. Has just really taken it to a new level over the last probably 2 years, I'd say. Well, let's call it 3. That's better railroad from him. That was indeed a Bando boast, Mr. Walton. Hope all's well over there in the UK. Victoria Scott, how you doing? Philly, what up?
15-all.
Just being joined by my colleague James. I think he was doing a social route. We each have our own mic now. Imagine that. Watch out.
Oh, Barney, this is special. We are being treated tonight.
So, I know you don't bet a lot, and I don't either. But what are your odds here? Because this just gets really interesting. There's a lot of factors in play, but I think obviously Camden's on a bit of an island down in South Carolina. He hasn't been able to play in practice like he generally would. I mean, he's a fiend, so he definitely through the pandemic probably had it a little worse than most of us, and he's been, with Julia's lovely girlfriend, but not on court a ton probably, and I think when we were in Boston, Camden got pushed a few times, which is probably slightly surprising given his record over the last few years.
I think a lot of people saw a more human side of Camden up in Boston for the National League.
I think that's well put. Human.
Yeah, a little less invincible that we've seen like over the past 3-4 years at all the Opens, where he's dominated. So it's definitely interesting to see how he comes out here today against John. John's been playing a ton, been practicing. He's definitely in form as well. So, I think this is a top four guys in the world that are really, playing some good court tennis. And as you see, nothing in it here. Early in the first set, Camden's up 3-2, 15-all. Both guys sort of figuring out what's working, what isn't. Getting rid of some of the early nerves, which they'll both be feeling. Right, you haven't played any competition in 18 months. I'm sure they both will be relishing in that little bit of adrenaline that they're feeling.
Yeah, I think we're a long way from seeing the best out of either of these guys yet. That's the good news. Still trounce anyone else, but great get there. On target.
So what do you think the difference between these guys playing today and, say, what that best looks like? What's the difference?
I was saying while you were on the hors d'oeuvres downstairs, I think you're seeing more or less the best John Lumley you've seen.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, Camden, probably not his very best right now, which isn't to say that, I've seen the guy flick a switch and turn number 2 and 6-love 6-2. You know what I mean? Like his dominance has been ridiculous. So
what a shot there from John. You see that? Heavy boast under pressure, bounces into the date-on.
Looked like some from you almost.
Just better.
I mean, I wouldn't say lucky, but
Lucky is exactly what you said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would say lucky. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree, Barney. I think we are seeing John playing some of his best court tennis at the moment.
He got to use the strings on that shot, though.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then, right? It's good to use the entire racket.
I just think, it's good to make people understand how difficult this really is. These guys make it look so easy.
That's definitely true. Like the level of anticipation, their quickness around the court, some of the gets that they get.
This being one of the most extreme courts in the world, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so the difference between us playing here and when we played up in Boston, you take a good cut shot here, that ball's coming down better than 2 every single time, right? Worse than a yard if you really cut it. That same shot up in Boston is, better than 3, and if you cut it really well, maybe worse than 2, right? So it's just, you've got a lot more time to get every shot back. Here, these guys need to be, they need to be sharp.
Which I think, makes a different point. But what you're going to see is, as these guys start to read that severity, it's going to be quite exciting. Great shot, Kim. Quite exciting to see these guys cut the angles off, really use some of the speed, foot speed. Both of them are just very well known for.
Yeah. I mean, are you thinking that we'll probably, once these guys get going, we'll see a little bit more sort of higher pace? Probably like less cutting that ball, more sort of, looking for the back wall nick that runs out, a bit more top spin. I mean, because these guys are quick enough that, if they hit a good cut shot, the opponent's going to cut it off before the back wall.
I've definitely seen matches go that way. I think I've seen you play a few people on this court, and people just give up cutting the ball, and then they just go cross-court nick.
Yeah.
I'll take worse than 5.
Yeah.
I'll take better than 5. I'll take better than 6.
Yeah, exactly. Because at some point you just need to get a chase, right? And no matter how well you cut it, if your opponent's getting a racket on it every single time, you're only going to do so well from the receiving side at this level.
So here we go. I was talking about earlier. I'm not a huge believer in leaving hazards. John converted the last hazard he left, but here we are. Let's see what happens here. This is quite a big point, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the winner of this point wins the set.
Oh, that's a big statement. I mean, if we were to put $5 on that, I'd feel good about my position. But,
betting in New York is illegal, so we wouldn't do that. But wow, again.
There you go. Okay, so you've laid the groundwork. He's won that point. So you now need Mr. Lumley to walk away with this set.
You need to open your Venmo up. Here we go. Wow.
Little
up
edge.
and down.
Yeah.
Up and down.
So you see how these guys are, John at least, using that railroad in the first final with Connor and Leon. They were using a lot more height, looking to drop that serve into that back wall. These guys are a bit more pace, trying to hit that railroad. What do you think what's the reasoning for both of these guys to do that?
I think they're going to switch it up a bit. Here's Cam. He's going to go high. Chase half a yard. All he wants is John to have to create his force here. Put all the pace into it. Let's see. Oh, doesn't really matter if you serve it that well.
I mean, it's an easy game if you can do that every time, right? Do that 5 times a game and 4 times a game. Sorry.
That's very atypical. So
15 all.
I'm going to say Camden, when he's guns blazing, can go grill or winning gallery on that ball, not into his shoe.
Yeah. Yeah. Needs that chord in South Carolina.
Let's get that going. Come on, guys. Can't wait. Nice ball from John, but can you really play cross court to Kim's forehand?
I mean, it's whenever I've played Camden and he hits that ball, I get that ball around the tambour on my forehand and I'm about to hit it cross court. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is not the setup that I want. I don't want to be taking on Camden's forehand.
Yeah, and
with
I
the
remember
tambour.
seeing, Steve and John yesterday, and John's playing into Steve's forehand, and I seen Steve almost take some people out of their shoes on that shot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you better have a dentist on call if that's how you're going to play for Gona. But, slightly different.
Yeah. I guess you have to try to keep him honest. Go for the galleries, right? Be happy with the last gallery, second gallery chase.
Second gallery.
Yeah, lovely.
Great ball.
30-15. Second chase is Hazard.
Here's that hazard again. Let's
Yeah,
see.
this is a big one.
Didn't really leave this one, but
Again, I like the tactics, right? You've got Camden being left-handed, hitting that high serve to John, forcing John to have to generate the power on the return. John hitting the railroad to Camden, try to stick him, with a tough backhand return of serve.
well marked there, Josh.
That's a great
Good
shot
ball.
from John.
40-30.
Again,
He's
another
got to
big
take
point
those
there.
opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Cam misses, he's got to convert. Because Cam will not miss very long.
I'm going to go down 2 yards.
Oh, interesting. Now, do we think that was just an uncoordinated throw by John, or was that a little frustration in the call?
I think he'd be slightly disappointed in himself, probably.
It's a hard angle to see, but I think he's disappointed, like you said, very disappointed in himself. He's 40-30 up.
Oh, he's got to get that down. Nope.
Lost the chase for 4 yards. Deuce.
Big game here.
Cam, great cat.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Top and bottom, John. Left-handed throw, frustrated again.
Yeah. Like Winston said, Winston, good to see you on the chat here.
Winston.
Very big point.
Better than 1.
Winston is, we've had the pleasure of having help us out in the pro shop in the past. One of our favorite members here in New York. Absolute superstar. Pretty good work ethic. Not the best we've had in terms of like interns, fellows, but not the worst either. Like, wasn't Toby Calder, but
Wow, there's a lot to unpack there.
Lost the chase. Back to
Winston, I
Deuce.
think, will be his contributions in the pro shop will be small compared to what he does a few years down the line for us.
Better than 6.
But we love him, and his dad, and his mom. Great family. Love you
Fantastic
guys.
family.
Wow, so this is too loose for Cam.
Oh, that's just so tidy from Camden.
It's tidy, but he's a bit lucky, right? Because that previous shot stayed pretty
Close to
wedged. So it wasn't, he's rewarded for.
Again, but that's what happens when you're playing the number one in the world, right? You get a little bit unlucky with the bounce. He gets a small opening, and he capitalizes. Right? Like that's where.
That's how I feel like when we play rackets. Just
One or two pad bounces and makes all the difference.
I don't know about the other 13 points that I'm not getting about.
Yeah.
Any news on the rackets front? World doubles?
We've got 4 young Brits are playing off in I think just under 2 weeks at Queen's. Tom Billings and Richard Owen. We're playing in the team of Nick James and James Bailey.
Why do they call him Mole?
It's a very good question, and having been at school with young Nick, I should probably know, but
So what did they call you in school?
not really appropriate for this conversation. Twat. Annoying.
Easy. Where's the picture, the Harry Potter picture of you? Where can we find that in the world?
No,
There's a great picture of James if you've never seen it.
Unfortunately,
Well,
my parents have that one.
I think, Mr. Cipriano, maybe you could drop that in the chat for us. Be good filler between sets. 4-all, 15-all, out of court, 30-15 Cam.
30-15. One chase.
Big shout out to Jonathan Teradista. He's our technology manager here at the R&T, and he has worked tirelessly to help us with our streaming infrastructure and really like dealing with the pros who have no background in any technology except their iPhones. He has been very patient. So massive shout out, Jonathan. You've done a great job for us, and we certainly wouldn't be watching this match without you.
Here,
and
here.
that scoreboard sitting down in the Pell room right now, people are just blown away. I mean,
Very sharp.
I get a 25-year-old member walking in saying, "Where's that score coming from?" It's like magic, obviously.
Fell 2 yards.
Oh.
Robert Frost, thank you so much.
40-15.
Another massive part of our streaming infrastructure. Robert's created the Real Tennis Marking app and
Game. 5 games and 4.
arranged for us to project it into both our streaming and onto our scoreboard. Worked tirelessly for us. So these are very important people. Many people may not know them, but they're huge.
First and 4.
Yeah.
Little deception there from Camden. Little
Yeah,
slap.
Little hold. Yeah. Big game.
I think John will be pretty disappointed if he drops this one.
Yeah. You definitely think that John winning this first set
15
would
love.
be key. Get out to a good start, right? Get the confidence up. Playing someone of Camden's ability and experience, right?
Wow.
Having to come back from, a set deficit, not the easiest thing to do.
Better than 4. 2 chases.
Got a really good size gallery here in New York tonight. Just like to thank everyone that has come in to support in person. Great to see you.
The score is 15 love, receiver leads. First
Amazing
chase
to
is
see
West
the
for
Pell
4.
Room sort of busy, and look at that, yeah. I think people enjoy being back, socializing, watching court tennis at the highest level.
It's amazing.
Yeah, not many better ways to spend a Monday evening, that's for sure.
Although having said that, after this match, I don't know if you know, but
30 love.
the Eagles play the Cowboys.
Better than
So
4.
it's going to be a big, big evening of sports, albeit with a slightly different demographic.
Go Cowboys.
Let's have a bet on that one, too.
15-30.
Charles DeCastation, big Cowboys fan. Can't figure that one out.
I like it. Okay, big point here. John's 5-4 down, 30-15 up.
Second serve. Good play. Cam, good get. Oh, John.
That's yours.
That's
Indecisive.
the pressure. That's the pressure of playing, former world champion, world number 1. Right, you feel like you have to be perfect. You feel like you have to go a little bit finer. Unforced error, guaranteed. If you or I on court playing John, he doesn't miss that shot.
No. No, in fact, he didn't miss anything against me. I mean, thanks, John. Really appreciate that. It was closer than the score, I'll have you know.
Wow. I mean, look at those 3 shots here. 30-15 up. And just like that, sets over. Camden, 1 love up.
Second set, love all.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Gotta let it go.
Yeah, exactly. Just loosen up a little bit, right? You had your chances in the first set. Just, you've got nothing to lose, right? Come out, take it to Camden.
There's no wrong decision. It's just indecision.
Yeah. Well said, Barney. Love that. Deep. Think about that one, guys. Oh, good get.
Please. Spell up the door. 15 love receiver. Great tennis. 30 love.
These guys stayed together this week. Did you ever have an experience where you gonna play? I mean, this is the
15-30 time.
second, maybe third biggest tournament in America.
Yep.
Did you ever stay with your opponent?
It's a good question. I don't think I have. Actually,
Is that the Neil?
sorry, yeah. I think it was the second racket U.S. Pro Singles up in Boston. We were late January, early February. Neil was kind enough. He had offered to drive us both up to Boston. So I suggested, like, hey, come stay out with me in Westchester. We can leave early in the morning, get up to Boston in time for our lunch match. But I said to him, like, bring a blanket, bring a sheet, I got nothing else. And Neil thought I was joking. And unfortunately, he ended up having to sleep on top of the couch. On top of the couch, as close to the radiator as possible, because it was, I I'd say it was probably like 20 degrees in the living room. He ended up having to like go and put on his coat and everything. And to this day, he says that's the reason why I beat him in the final.
Well, that sounds like a fire hazard, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, a win's a win, right? So sabotage him any way you can.
Cam, nice stroke there.
Yeah.
Okay, so John's 2 for 2 on the hazards, if you're counting. 2 for 4.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
That's 4.
It's a good shot, right down the middle, but at the body, John's just trying to get out of the way.
Howard Fergona, right, started that 2-hand backhand slap.
Yeah.
I'm a big Steve Vergona fan. Worked with Steve for several years in Philadelphia. But what Steve did to the left-handed game, I think, like just reimagined it.
Invaluable.
And I think a lot of people probably don't know how much his sort of change in tactics changed everyone's tactics, like literally.
Well, I mean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, like the belief was left-handers could not compete at the top of the game. Right? It was just, there are too many disadvantages to being left-handed. And, Steve basically took that theory and just threw it out the door. Like, changed the way that the game was played, changed the way that all left-handers sort of approached the return of serve.
I mean, Connor's in there at the end of the other match, turning on his main wall.
Yeah.
I mean, everything changed.
Yeah. How much of that do you think is with Steve's background in lawn tennis? Of being used to sort of running around balls, getting onto that forehand at whatever cost. Yeah, because Steve will stand on the wall for that return of serve with 6 inches of space and hit forehand.
I mean, I don't really know where the impetus was, but it was such a radical idea to me and to the community. I mean, the only thing as radical as that was his hair at the time. I mean,
those tips,
I mean, he had about everything, tips, afro, half this and that, and the other thing.
That is an unbelievable get. Wow. What a rally. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a treat. Talk about just world-class court tennis being played. These guys are putting on a show. This get from John, I just can't believe that.
So we also just saw a sneak peek of the World Championship Camden won in Newport, which was 2016. I just remember Rob going full tilt, main wall dead on, take your hat off, and Camden not blinking, winning Galler.
Oh, yeah.
And he just hit one, and it took me back a few years. I felt like I was 25 again, or something like that. But now I think we've seen these guys settle in.
Yeah.
I think we're ready. Are you guys ready at home?
Ball's coming a little faster, little sharper. Oh wow, are we in for a treat? We have the 2 gentlemen that just competed in the final of the Below Zero, Connor Medlow and Leon Smart, have just joined us here.
Do you guys want to say hi?
Gents, you want to come in? There was, you guys both had a lot of family members tuning in
chat.
on the stream. Big shout out to anyone in particular.
Hopefully Grandma's still there.
Grandma's on the feet.
Grandma chiming in from
Shout
South
out
Wales.
my whole family. I don't know who wrote them, so Rebecca wrote, so and Zach.
Yeah.
Thanks to those guys.
Great match, guys. We're just so lucky to have such a good crew of pros here this week. And for those who didn't see that below zero final, I feel bad for you, but luckily you can play it back.
I'm sure Connor and Leon will watch the replay. No.
Look at this rally here.
I mean,
That's more like it. Don't leave the hazard.
we've seen a lot of matches this week where it's been hard to have long rallies, right?
Yeah.
Guys are attacking at this level, even with people attacking the way they are, they just get everything back.
Michael Doe in the house. The best photographer in the game. We don't see enough of them.
Big shout out to everyone that's tuned in to watch this match. Everyone for joining us in the live chat. Camden's mum, great to see you supporting young Camden. Colbert Cannon,
Colbert Cannon.
absolute star.
One of the best railroads in the game, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, people see that first ball out of his hand and think, uh-oh,
Yeah, I'm in trouble here.
I'm in trouble. Yeah, I see it, and I'm worried.
Yeah. That's a great serve there from John.
I think we get corrected that Howard Angus and Colin Lumley challenged for the World Championship. But I think
it went from, and not to take, I mean, in no way are we taking away from their achievements, but the belief that left-handers are not sort of one-off left-handers, right, could compete at that top level.
that's right. Certainly when I was growing up, I mean,
Right. Howard, Mr. Lumley, like, incredible amount of talent.
That's worse than one, no strokes.
Yeah. Top players, left-handed, right-handed, two-handed. I mean,
yeah, I
it was
mean,
more the belief of how left-handers should approach the game.
I'd like to see John Lumley versus Colin Lumley in his heyday.
Oh,
Be nice.
that would be actually.
We need one of those like simulator cyborg.
Talk about like the best mixed doubles, best mixed doubles match you could possibly have, right?
Wow.
That little family matchup. Tara, Penny, Colin, John, like phenomenal court tennis players all over.
Yeah, there's no weak links there. Do you remember when you met Temple Grassi for the first time?
I remember
Two chases.
the first tournament that I played. I played a Pro-Am with Temple down in Washington. I believe it was maybe the National Open Pro-Am. Very fortunate to play with Temple. Just so positive, so much to impart, right? There was nothing about court tennis that he didn't know. We were very lucky to win the tournament.
Wow.
And I remember he ended up gifting me a book about court tennis, and his note on the front cover, was I wish all of your chases are better than half a yard.
Oh, amazing.
The huge loss to the game, but you can't find a guy that's done more for court tennis.
I think about how many times it was just me and him in the data.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I've been doing this for 16, 17 years, whatever it's been, I don't know. And I think about the running commentary that he used to have. And I think he probably would have it even if he was by himself in the data.
Yeah.
But he just had these little he had a little saying for everything.
Yeah.
A little and they were just super comforting, and I just hope we retain some of that. I think that anyone can make an approach, like you said, the game with such positivity and give so much. We got huge shoes to fill.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was here for every National League match. First one to sit in the Dayton, always taking notes.
Meet the new guy.
Yeah.
Who's the new guy?
Yeah.
Who's this? Who are you?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Where do you play?
What do you play?
What do you
Have
play
been
off?
out there on the tennis court?
Do you want to
show you the tennis court?
My God. Then also Sunday afternoon, working 20 days in a row. Temple drops the email in, looking for a game at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, Monday after Silver Racket.
Yeah.
We've had a month of trying to put together our signature event here at the Racket Club. 96 players in the New York Open handicap, so 95 matches that need to be played over the course of 3 days, 9 till 9, and then Monday morning, 10 a.m. Guaranteed. Temple. Hey guys, looking for a game. And
singles or doubles?
Singles or doubles.
Could play multiple times.
Absolutely. I mean, I got out there, I think, once with him after as well. Just, this is a guy who you always wanted to do what you could to help him out, right?
Man, it felt bad if we didn't get that game, too. I'm leaving.
If no game, I'm on that next train.
They were talking about it during the moment of silence in the Pell Room. Mr. Scott, our games committee chairman, talking about, there's a lot of ideas in place to help memorialize Temple properly, which is impossible, but people will do their best. And if it is going to be a tournament or something like that, I think everyone should have to play in whites and a blazer.
Oh,
I think that would only be right.
I like that.
Maybe, we should do it'll be like the Masters, they wear the green coat.
Yep.
Instead it'll be blue coat.
Blue blazer.
What a look.
Yeah. Back here to
it's hard to imagine them any way other than that.
Yeah. Always whites, blazer, with a racket.
And a smile.
Yeah.
So back to the action here. We got John Lumley, full speed ahead.
3-love up here in the second set. Just the response he would have been wanting after losing a close first set.
Stretching out the angles too. That's just a lot more oomph than he had. Sometimes losing a set loosens you up, I think.
It's also, there aren't many people who, if playing Camden, you would think the longer the match goes on, the better their chance.
Yeah.
But I actually think John could be one of those few guys. I think he's okay being out on court. I think, Camden's had a couple of health issues, especially with like endurance. So
Wow.
that is such a tough volley, and he's made that look standard.
I think John, too, really hasn't played his best tennis this week. So the longer he's on court, eventually he's going to find it.
Yeah,
Great serve there.
great serve.
And we go. 4-love. Shout out Jeremy Thompson. What up? Go Birds.
Do you think Camden may just sort of try to conserve some energy here later half this
What would
set?
you do?
I would definitely sort of
You go
look to-
winner every time, kind of, or
no, not winner every time, but just I'd be a little bit more aggressive for the first like 2 rallies of the game, right? See if I can maybe get a couple cheap points, win a game or 2, but if not, I'm not sprinting around the court here. Save it, right? Try to come out fresh in the 3rd set. And it looks Camden definitely, a little bent over there. Yeah, this is big game or 2 for John. He's just got to.
close the door on this.
Yeah. Like
Don't
not-
hang.
There you go. Like take advantage. Yeah.
30-15.
What do you like to watch from here?
I love this angle.
No, but up in the court. Only Graham Highland can sit up there and watch, apparently, right?
The grill. I like the grill. You get to really watch the server. Although you miss out on the receiver. I think we can actually see Christopher Scott, our chairman of the games committee, is standing in the grill at the moment. That's his favorite spot on the tennis court.
Yep, I hope they put the stool out.
Yeah. If anyone else was there, they would be asked to vacate that spot pretty quickly, right?
You like the catwalk? Catwalk's good.
Catwalk's good.
You
Yeah.
really get to see people moving again,
Yeah.
and it's just so unique.
Yeah.
It's court. Just, beautiful this time of day, Little twilight, mayhem, ripping around outside.
Actually a fan of whenever we're up in Newport, Philadelphia, watching from the winning gallery.
Yeah, well, in Philly, it's like,
Come out of the elevator. Sit
yeah, I
down
mean,
right
it's
there.
like, place to be,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Bit
Yeah.
social.
The grill, though, the grill in Philly, they got their crew, too.
Yeah.
Just, people are, if you're winning gallery,
So good.
people know where the drinks are in Philly. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Good time. All right, well, here's what we're talking about. John's not going to want to experiment too much here. It's a little too long on that chip.
Yeah, I feel like those are the sort of shots that we would have seen Camden put away probably, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, ball's gone.
Yeah. Heavy return of serve onto the back wall. Camden's ending that rally.
Same there.
Yeah.
Who wants it? Anyone?
Oh no. Look at that.
Advantage.
That's tough. You can see, a little dejected, heads down, shoulders slightly slumped. Camden had a tough time getting up here initially. Right?
Awful time,
12
yeah.
hours stuck in the airport. What is that?
Atlanta.
Yeah. You come up here, haven't really played a tournament in 18 months.
Good ball, John.
Yeah, nice shot. There we go. 5-love. That's pretty much a set.
Say hello in the chat. Good rip, Kim.
15 love.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're extremely lucky to have Adrian Kemp joining us to replace James. James got a couple tournaments all over the city, so he's got to be elsewhere. But Adrian did a great job marking the below zero final, and does a great job with us here always, and is the pro representative of the USCTA. Adrian, hello.
Bonnie, good evening. It's great to be here.
There you are. So, how are you doing, Adrian?
Yeah, doing very well. It's been an exciting week of tennis. Obviously, it's great to have the pros back in New York. It's been a couple of years, and I think it's been really interesting on the professional side to see who's been doing what and who's playing well. And obviously, it looks like at the moment John's playing great in this match. He's really stepped it up. So it's great to have some tournaments.
What'd you think of that last one there? Medlow Smart. Did that go as you thought it might, or surprised at all? I mean,
I think I was actually surprised by particularly the second set, with Medlow really running away from it. Leon's had a great tournament, a couple of amazing wins, particularly over myself in the quarterfinals. But Leon's been playing some great tennis, but Connor really he turned it on.
Yeah, he was impressive.
One game to 5.
Got a couple people saying hi to you in the chat there.
Yeah, Lewis back in Preston. It's great to see us watching. Obviously, Jeremy Thompson. Looking forward to seeing hopefully on the circuit. How did you guys think this first set went? It looked like John had a bit of a chance from where I was watching, but did you guys feel the same way?
I had him winning it. He won a big point to go 4-3 or something, and I said I really think he's going to win this, and then he eased off somehow, and I was shocked really, but I think the theme is really still both these guys have another gear yet, and still looking like John's probably going to win this set, although it might not be as comfortable as he had hoped. It'll be really interesting to see how the next one starts.
30-15.
We're talking about, Camden's sort of threshold for activity, and would he keep pursuing this set heavily or not? And so far, he is.
I mean, I think if anyone could come from 5-love down to win a set against, John or one of these other top guys, Camden is certainly the one. He can be relentless out there. Obviously, we've got best of 5 match this evening, but these guys are used to playing that, that sort of intensity for 3 hours plus. So I think he's going to keep pushing and see how these next 2 games go. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on John to convert this set as well, being 5-love up.
Yeah, I think we only have hors d'oeuvres until 7:30, so we'll just have to get word downstairs that this match is going to go a while.
Score is 30-15. Receiver.
Refill the bar.
First chase is the second
This could go 3 hours. Absolutely. So, what do you have coming up?
Second chase.
Well, we've got on the US circuit, we've got a couple more tournaments coming up in the next month. US Pro Singles, which normally is played in June, up in Newport, Rhode Island. Very excited, obviously, to have this tournament back on the calendar. I think it's going to be a great event as well. Mike Gooding does a good job running it up there.
Always, yeah.
I know you're obviously going to be there, James, myself, these two. So we're expecting a fun time up there, and I think particularly with these tournaments all coming together in a short space of time, it's really given everyone that focus, and I think I think there'll be some good performances as well. We're kind of backing it up with the US Open in Philadelphia, which starts the week after, and I'd expect to see these two, sniffing around the finals for both of those events.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, right? Because Camden and Newport is, I can't remember him ever losing. Maybe he did, but
I think he's won. I think Brennan's saying he's won 10 Shocker Cups, I think in a row. So
World
he's
Championship.
He's formidable there.
Last time he lost, probably to John Lumley in the National League 8-10 years ago or whatever it was. But then John and Philly, obviously, it's going to be like a frenzy up in there.
That Philadelphia crowd can be difficult to control. But he's gonna have a good shot there for sure.
They're going to be marching on Broad Street if John wins that one.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens in this match, because this certainly is a potential final in those two events. And if John were to take this one or even push Camden close, I think he'd take a lot of confidence from that. I think until now Camden's been almost untouchable. John, like you mentioned, did get that National League win back 6, 7, 8 years ago over a shorter format. But since then, Camden's had the measure of John. So I think this match is really significant for setting up the rest of the tournaments.
That's right. If there's not to say there is, like I said, when you see Camden at his best, it's hard to believe anyone's touching him. But if there is a change of guard, this would be kind of a natural time for us.
Score is 30-15, receiver leads. First chase
Nick Warner on the stream. Hey, Nick, C for Silver Racket. We will probably not be streaming to this extent for Silver Racket. Couple other things going on. World Doubles Rackets, I think, will of course be streamed. Mr. Warner, a perennial finalist, at least in those events.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Alleged to be off like a 20 or something. I would put him off 10 on a bad day. Those Brits, anything for the win, right?
They do what they can.
Except for yesterday, that Ryder Cup wasn't particularly close, was it?
To be honest, I didn't even see it happen. Been concentrating so much on the tennis here.
There's a lot of talk about the
me by.
European team in the pro shop earlier in the week.
It didn't last long.
Anyone know the final score, Ryder Cup?
I couldn't tell you.
Video second chase Hazard second.
Just had a couple of very long rallies there. And I think Camden was maybe trying to suck in some air. It's still pretty humid out there on the East Court.
John. It's interesting because John's reply to back wall under the grill or next to the grill is topspin roll to the gallery. And while I'm not saying that's the wrong thing, it's almost to a T what he's done every time. And I think Chase second gallery may not win this match.
Yeah, it's. I felt like in the first set, and I did listen to a little bit of the commentary you guys were doing. You know, he had a bunch of hazards as well, serving the railroad, and I don't know. It felt like he had some success with that. Obviously, it's difficult against Camden. You know, playing cross court. If you do miss that gallery, in particular, you know, you're playing to his forehand, and I don't think anyone really wants to get in that cross court forehand against your own backhand rally with Camden. You know, he's too solid for that. So it's definitely an area where John's going to have to sort of find a way to get out of points pretty quickly. But like you say, second gallery is not the best chase.
Okay.
Just looking a little lethargic there. You know, Camden's pulled back a couple of games, and you sort of feel like if you could take this one, it would apply a little bit more pressure to John, but doesn't quite look as sharp as he needs to be there.
There it is. One set all. What's your prediction right here?
I think you said, you know, 5 minutes ago, if John does take this set, these next couple of games are really crucial because it does look like he's got the upper hand right now. You know, I guess Camden he's almost the Rafa Nadal of court tennis, as in, you know, you wouldn't bet against him in 5 sets, but, you know, John, I'd say if anyone can go toe-to-toe with Camden in terms of the fitness and being able to last out there, you know, you put your money on John. But certainly it's going to be a crucial couple of games here.
It's kind of interesting because you can fool yourself into thinking like, oh, they're just practicing. Like there. I mean, that's what their practice looks like, right?
1 and 2. 15 love receiver.
What do you make of this serving from these guys out there? It seems, I don't know if you saw, well, I guess you were commentating on the match before, but there was a lot of high serving in that. These guys seem to have decided on a bit of a different strategy. I saw Camden obviously serving some of his high giraffes, but a lot less than in that first match. And I think it's certainly, you know, obviously John's looking for that backhand return.
30-15.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see this, you know. I think we're going to see slightly more interesting points this way, but the high serve's been used extremely effectively for a lot of matches so far.
Thank you. 40-15 and a chase of 1 and 2.
Did you talk to Kim today about how he's feeling?
Yeah, he actually came in yesterday and said he wasn't feeling too good. I think he went to a sort of underground Mexican restaurant the day before and maybe ate something that disagreed with him. But no, he said he was feeling good today. You know, looked sharp, looked happy. It does look like he's just needs a little pep up right now. But even yesterday, I caught a little bit of his match with Tim, and you know, for someone who was apparently not feeling too good, he actually played great. So, you know, I wouldn't. Maybe he's not quite at 100%, but I wouldn't have thought he's too far off. I think right now a lot of it's just the pressure being applied by John, and he's not giving him a lot of loose balls.
Receiver leads. Chase 1 and 2.
What are you hearing about the amateur events here in the U.S., Adrian? You've got a top secret clearance, so we'll just have you spill it now. Waiting for a year of the level championships and age championships and all that.
Yeah, definitely. It's all going to happen. I think people are absolutely desperate to get out and compete, and I think all the clubs have shown that you can play court tennis and even have something on the social side and still be safe. So yeah, it's all going to happen. I think there's a bunch of the club tournaments. You mentioned Silver Racket earlier, but Jimmy Dunn is going to happen. The Knot up in Boston, and then turn of the year, then the level championships, the Masters. So I think it's all happening, which is great. It's some people need something to aim for, and I think it's going to be really helpful to us as well, getting people back on court, just having targets to go for, tournaments to aim for. So we're excited. I think it's going to be a very busy year, obviously here in New York and across the country. I know there's been some activity in England as well. I sort of see the updates. So it seems like everywhere there's kind of people coming back to tennis, which is fantastic news.
That's great news. Yeah. So how'd your summer end? Do anything exciting?
Other than playing court tennis.
Other than playing court tennis, yeah.
There's a couple of holidays, but still, we're all stuck here in the US. No escape. But it turns out it's not too bad here. So.
You mean not just the people are great, the land is great too?
Yeah.
And the golfers?
It's all pretty good. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Once the international tournaments get going as well. I know it's not necessarily something that you or I travel to typically, but we saw an entry form for the British Open come out this week. So I think it'll be interesting to see whether these guys, John, Camden, are able to go and play it. I think there's still some some travel issues with visas and quarantining that might make it a bit more complicated. But I think that's set for November, which is good news.
Queen's Club, right?
Yes. Did you ever go and play British Open?
I've never played the British Open. I played Queens quite a bit. Last time I played Queens was with my buddy Ted Alexander. It was not for a tournament.
You were up in the bar?
It was past my bar days, although there were a few of those days years ago. Mr. Lyons told me you can come to the bar when you're 15. It's no big deal. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of family in England, and really can't wait to start traveling again with my kids to see the world a little bit. Yeah, Kim's a tough one to read, though. Him and Tim with this put your head down stuff. I mean, he's been doing that to me, like the little head shake, eyes down, not much of a smile. And then I walk off and it's love, love, and one. So it's just hard to believe people when they can embarrass you so badly and look unhappy about it at the time, you know?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing Tim this week, actually.
Great match.
I thought, had a good match, but he wasn't all smiles for sure. But you're right. These guys can be playing very well, but sometimes Camden doesn't give a lot of emotion. Sometimes he's obviously very fired up, but either way, he tends to play great. That's a ball you'd expect to see him track down normally, though. He's still very much in this match, but he needs to against someone like Lumley, who is going to push. He needs to be covering that kind of ball.
Trying to remember financially the difference between winning and losing here, but I can tell you I'm not familiar with it, but it's definitely worth winning. Put it that way.
Yeah, there's been for this tournament, there's been a great fundraising effort, particularly on your part. The members here are very generous and they like to support the events, and you've done a great job getting a great prize fund together. Also, USCTA is a big supporter of this event, and it does make it, it makes it a great week for these pros to come and play. I remember not too distant memory, particularly some of the tournaments in England, France, Australia. You'd go and play a tournament and take a week off, and financially you'd be taking a hit. So it's great to have the support of so many great patrons in the US who really make these events not only worthwhile but actually push these guys and push us to play harder, to practice harder, and I think it improves the quality of the game.
100%. Yeah, got a couple of those guys here. Tom Wilkinson, big national sponsorship guy. Lot 12. Dave Christensen, Jonathan Larkin, Winston Simone, Walter Dean, Jane Lippincott, Phil Stockton, Bob Diamond, Peter McGuire, Greg Van Scott, Nick Dunphy, Lars Munson, Jeremy and Amy Winterstein, David Emile, Robert Power, Adam Palmariari, Lincoln Frank, Zach Sachs, Jim Zug, Ted Ganeos, Ian Hyatt, Christopher Scott, and Gail Skripko. Thank you so much. The National Sponsorship Program and Lot 12 account for probably about 30%, 40% of the dollars distributed in America now. So thank you for your generosity. And then our members here are just unbelievable. I mean, we're just so lucky.
It's great to see a really strong turnout for this match as well. I don't know if you can quite catch it on the camera. I was down in the Pell Room 20 minutes ago, and there's a full dead on. There's a bar set up there in the Pell Room, so there's a whole host of guys floating around that. Guys in the side galleries, and actually up on the fifth floor. There's a number of our summer guests and a couple other members watching from that vantage point. So, I think it's been great for us this week. There's been some really strong support, and playing these matches in front of crowds, it makes you give that extra 5%, which is fantastic, and particularly after a couple of years where none of us have been able to compete, and when we have competed, it's been in empty with empty dead-ons. It's really nice to see the crowds back.
So we got 50 on the stream a minute ago. Nice to see. If you're new to the stream, say hello. Tell us where you're from, what you're doing. Kim going back to the high one now. Slow the pace down. It's good name wall boast. Great shot in this court.
Yeah, how much do you think these guys are tailoring their game to the New York court tonight? You've obviously watched a lot of both of them. Do you think there's think you see anything they're doing particularly different from normal, or are they kind of sticking to their usual game plans?
I think again we're still finding our way. I don't think you'll see these guys serving the high one as much in the other courts. And I think you're still not seeing. There was a stretch where we were having some just unbelievable rallies. And this is what happens. The high serve slows the game down. People lose momentum. And
2 yards, lost the chase.
wow. Well left, John.
Yeah.
Chase was better than 2 there for anyone who doesn't have their glasses on. John did, because he left it, and it was 2. No problem, right? It's good to have a young set of eyes like Josh Dodson.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job calling this match so far, because these guys, probably more than any other, a lot of their pickups are, they're real last minute. They're kind of balls you don't expect to come back. So, I think he's controlled the match really well. You don't sound like you're a big fan of the high serving.
No. It's not like fan or not fan, Just, it does the job. Jonathan Marrow from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tony Hollins, Boston, Massachusetts. We were talking about you earlier, Tony. What an event you had.
Yeah, Tony played some great stuff. It looked like he'd really been putting some time in. I marked a match yesterday, him and Connor, who had a real close 3-setter. Could have gone either way. So, he isn't far off of winning that event. And I think we're expecting to see him both in Newport and at the US Open. So it's great to see Tony back on the tour a little more regularly.
Yeah, hopefully hopefully Lizzie will really encourage him to keep playing as much as possible, and he's such a positive guy who does a lot for our game and does a great job in Boston. So lucky to have him. Another C-Court guy. Anthony Smithy. Mr. Smithy, how you doing? Great to hear from you. Your brother's in the Dayton. Your nephew was yesterday. Well, how long you got? I think this could be buckling in for a long one here.
Yeah, it could be.
What's the over-under here? Got 7:13. What do you think, Mr. Carey?
Well, I've got a dinner reservation at 8:15, so it's definitely going later than that. That's for sure. But
You might need to get on the phone with Marie there.
I think so. She'll probably eat without me. She doesn't let me get in the way of her dinner plans. But I mean, we could see 2 more hours here. We could be here till gone 9. I think the crowd would be happy with that, particularly if that bar stays down in the Pell Room.
Yeah, I was going to say we might have to start charging him for a mark and get paid by the hour here. Love to see Freddie Bristow. What up, Freddie? Freddie had a great event. If you don't know Freddie Bristow, then you should.
Remember the name.
Remember the name. He's coming for you.
Yeah, here's a guy that we're expecting to see in, all of the events coming up. Studying at Penn at the moment. So obviously spending a lot of time in Philadelphia.
John will be a great influence, as will James and Rob.
Yeah, all of those guys.
Maybe he'll figure out where the gym is there, and he says he knows where the bar is. Where's the bar, Freddie?
Yeah, I've heard he doesn't follow the same training regime as Lumley yet, but
well, he learned from like maybe a little bit of James, let's say. Although I was telling someone earlier, my first big rackets event was a pro singles event in Montreal, and Howard Angus was there, and he opened his playing bag up, and I didn't see any rackets in there, but I saw plenty of chocolate, and he was just telling me that's how he started out, and I decided I really like rackets after that. See, there's that flip into the gallery.
yeah, I think obviously it's not the easiest ball. He could leave it to take a hazard. I think against someone like Camden, that's although you're going to get the serve, you're probably expecting to lose that hazard chase point 2/3 of the time. It's not an easy ball to do that much with. Otherwise you can look to drive it and get a chase 5-6, but it's certainly got limited options there. Feels like Camden's just sort of found his feet again. Been finding his targets a little bit more regularly in this set. Moved out to that 4-2 lead. He was looking like he was flagging 15 minutes ago, but that's like you said, he can be so deceptive. He can look like he's sort of down and out and moping around the court, but then he can string together 10, 15 points. And I think John's got to try and he'll see that he'll pick up the body language from Camden, but I think he's got to try and put it out of his mind and concentrate on his game here.
That's it. Don't even look over there. It's like playing golf. You know what I mean? You're playing yourself right here. He's got to put together probably his best performance he's ever had, and not even look across. Camden makes a great shot. Let it go. Simon Talbot Williams. What a treat.
Legend of the game. I'm impressed all the Brits are still up. I don't know what it says about what's going on, but it would be I guess it must be 1 a.m. over there right now. So we're very happy to see that there's so many of them have joined us.
This is the night shift. These guys are all down at what's the place? China Nights or whatever it is.
China Whites.
China Whites. Annabelle's.
That's the one.
Simon, you at Annabelle's right now? Now, one thing you won't see Simon doing is moping around on court. One of the most enigmatic, happy guys. So fun to be around. Well marked. Well marked.
Yeah. 5 games to 2.
So, John needs something here.
Yeah, he does. You know, I feel like Camden, whether intentionally or not, has sort of somewhat sucked the energy out of the match here. Slowed it down, like you said, with some of the high serving. And I think this is a really important stage. Even if John doesn't come back and win this set, I think he could really benefit by putting together, a couple of games. Because it's gone away from him quickly there. You've obviously known and seen Camden play for many years, since you guys were together on the junior circuit.
Man, Camden, when he was younger, I know his mom's on the stream, so I'll be careful. But I have no idea who cleared Camden to come stay with Gabe Kinsler and I. But he was there, and we were living in a quite exciting neighborhood at the time. And I think Camden might not have picked up a lot of book smarts about the world on that little trip, but I think he learned a little bit about other things. And then suddenly he was way too good. And, I think I've written about it a little before, but Camden and I went to Australia, and I don't know what year it was. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was a trip, a Bathurst Cup, early 2000s to Manchester, 2002, 3, something like that. And Camden and I were neck and neck. Hadn't played him a bunch of times, but I played him a few times, and I was beating him 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4 times. We play Manchester, great time, unbelievable time there. With Stephen Craig was there at the time, and we come back, and 2 months later, 3 months later, we play U.S. Amateur or something like that. And I went from beating relatively comfortable to getting smoked, like out of nowhere. And I don't know what happened to him, like maybe he got hit by lightning or something, but suddenly he was just someone different. He went from about, an 8 to a +2, like basically overnight. So,
did that coincide with his visit to stay with you and Gabe in Philadelphia?
I would like to think that sort of opened his mind up to new possibilities. But yes, I've known Camden forever. I'm so thrilled that he's just turned to this. And I'm excited for the years we have to come with him.
Yeah, obviously a big world challenge coming up. Still a little way away, but I think September 2022, where he's gonna finally get his challenge against Rob. obviously much delayed by COVID. And those guys have had some great matches in the World Championship over the last few years, so I think it's going to be another exciting one. Obviously at Preston, which Rob knows extremely well and is my home court, and is it's not an easy court to go and spend a couple of weeks and figure out. There's a lot of little nuances, so I think it probably does worry Camden more than if it was at many other courts. So I think that will be an interesting match. And I think I'm right in saying, I know you're involved with the ITPA, but I think we're going to have another World Championship pretty shortly after that as well.
Yeah, I think there was certainly the plan had been to play a World Championship in a slightly sort of condensed fashion. I think a lot will depend on whether the British Open actually carries points, because obviously U.S. Open and Pro Singles didn't. But I think the everyone's hope is that we can play that World Championship in September and have some viable candidates for one as soon as possible afterward. Obviously, some of these guys are losing some of their best years of their life to this pandemic, and that's, maybe that's not nearly as bad as some of the sacrifices that and losses people have had in their families, but to us in our game, it's definitely a little bit tragic. So can't wait to get these guys back competing for the World Championship. And your thoughts about Prested? I think, can't remember when it was exactly, but Camden saying he loved every court in the world except Prested Hall. So it's, I'm not quite sure whether the venue had been decided at that point or not, but Rob's got a lot of friends around, and maybe someone mentioned that to him. I don't know.
Well, I think it's, like I mentioned earlier, it is a difficult court to play. The other thing which I think Camden knows from having played there, previously he had a World Doubles Championship final there as well, is that the atmosphere is going to be, it's going to maybe be slightly hostile, as hostile as it can get in court tennis, at least.
Is that like a Essex thing, or like, because some of us, what is that? Where is that animosity coming from?
It's just a very partisan home crowd. I guess it's like going to an Eagles game in Philadelphia. You don't go with your Giants shirt on unless you want to have some confrontations. But the guys who are members at the court there, they back their player, who is most likely to be Rob. Rob spent some good years working there. His wife was born just down the road, so he's going to have a lot of home support there. And no matter what anyone says, it can affect things, and it can affect Camden's concentration. He's obviously dealt with it before, so he knows what to expect, and I think he'll come fully prepared. But it might be one of those atmospheres where Camden hits a great shot, finds the winning gallery, and you could hear a pin drop, and Rob shanks one over the net and gets lucky, and the court and the crowd explode. So it's definitely going to be an interesting match, and I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think it might be closer there than it would be almost any other court.
Now, Rob's fresh off of surgery. Is it knee or hip? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was a knee, but I think that was a couple of months back. Obviously, he would have known that September 2022 date, and that might well have, he might well feel like that was the right time with that in mind. Yeah, he does an unbelievable job. Yeah, every 2 years normally, getting himself really in fighting shape for that World Championship. He's won so many Opens over the years. The World Championship for him is really the big one. He's almost like a boxer who goes into his training camp 3-4 months before and cuts down, gets to his fighting weight, tunes everything up and arrives like at that set date and time in the best possible shape. So yeah, I think he's going to be using this next year to obviously rehab that injury, and I think once we get closer to the time, obviously we'll see him really pick up the training as well. I know him and Claire have got some new roles over at the Oratory, so I'm sure they're both busy there, like working their day jobs. But Claire will also be defending World Championship at some point. So I think there's a lot of exciting stuff for both of them coming up.
That transformation you talk about with Rob is just unbelievable. I remember, not long ago I saw him in the gym. I think it was in Boston. I'm not even sure if he was playing in the event, but he was around, and it was in somewhat close proximity of one of those World Championships, and he was just being a maniac in the gym. Like, he's throwing the bar around like with big plates on it and doing like jumps and skips and lunges, and I think he just intimidated everyone out of the gym. Luckily I was just stretching. I don't want to show him up or anything, but it'll be so exciting to see everyone getting geared up for that. So John's like just gnawing his way in here a little bit. Again, Kim, hands on knees, don't know what that means. Could be should have missed that one, or should have hit that one, or it could be like I'm at the end. Can't tell.
Yeah, seems a little bit of frustration there creeping in from Camden. And I do feel like he's definitely looking to close this out quickly. Again, the head down there. I think John's just going to play his own game here. Not, like you said earlier, not look over at Camden too much, not get sucked into thinking, about what Camden's thinking. He's just got to play his game. He's been very positive out here this whole week. Had a great win against Steve Vagona in the semis. Played some unbelievable tennis. So he's on form. He's got to trust himself here. Not worry about what Camden's doing or what's going through Camden's mind. And I think this is a pretty critical point in the match here. If John can sneak this set, you'd really have to fancy him to push on.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Good get. Good get. Yeah, that's just very tidy. It's making him play, though. Is this getting to Cam at all?
Normally you'd say no. Normally Camden loves that sparring and the rallying. He'd certainly back himself to outrun anyone else on the tour. But maybe just a hint of fatigue today. Saying that, he is up. He is winning this match. So can't be doing too badly.
Now, if Cam were to lose, you thinking John is the one guy that he'd be like, yeah, it's all right. given their proximity, you know, like their friendship and their sparring, do you think in some ways Cam is grooming John to be like the next one?
I certainly think that, you know, Cam's probably thinking about his own wins for the moment. You know, I think he's still got, you know, years ahead of him. You know, Rob going into this World Championship, I think at the age of 50. You know, Camden's 15 years younger than him. So, you know, I think certainly if Camden had to choose someone who was going to take that number one ranking, then maybe John would be the guy. But I don't think there's any charity here. I don't think Camden's you know, rooting for John in this match or rooting for John to win any of the events in the next few years. I think he's got designs on picking up a bunch more Opens and World Championships. But certainly, you know, I think one thing which is maybe psychologically a little different with John compared to some of the other rivals Camden has is John hasn't really beaten Camden, you know, consistently over the years. You know, you have Vergona. Those guys went back and forth for a while. Vergona obviously, you know, made it to a couple of World Championship Challenge finals at the expense of Camden. You know, Tim's had his moments against Camden as well. Obviously, Rob, you know, has a bit of a psychological hold over Camden in the World Championship. So I think a lot of Camden's other rivals, you know, he has more experience of losing to. You know, John, he hasn't had that experience yet. So this might be a test of the friendship if John does take this one.
40 love to John, down 5-4. This is a big moment. Perfect for 52 on the chat. Hello, hello.
Chase the last gallery. Chase.
Wow.
15-14. Go. Game.
5-all.
5 games all.
5-all, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, huge game here. It seems to me, I don't know how that first set swung back and forth or whether it was kind of neck and neck, but there seems to have been some big swings in momentum, certainly in the last two sets.
John has got to serve well if he's going to win this game, because Camden's not going to give it to him. You leave that or you play that?
I probably wouldn't get there, so I don't have to make the choice.
I think you would have got there, kicked off the wall, and had a growl probably.
I would have played it. It looked like John was a little worried about maybe giving away the racket error. You know, particularly having lost that
Great
first
catch.
point. You know, being down 30 love. That's nice.
It's a good rally.
But yeah, I'm certainly a big believer in playing every ball you can get to. You know, we'll leave the balls which are going to lose chases, but otherwise I like to, you know, I like to try and get to as much as I can. And Camden with a couple of pretty long chases there, but he'll be happy to get up this service end, I'm sure.
Jim Zug on the chat. Hello, hello. Great job this week. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been great having Jim around. I know you worked on a project with the USCTPF, who were really fantastic in supporting the professionals this past year. Obviously, a lot of us, down on hours. A couple of guys furloughed, and they really came through for us and supported us financially with a contribution, which made a big difference to a lot of us. But you guys have put together a little project to let us kind of help them out as well and help the game out.
Yeah, we chimed on it just very quickly, but the foundation, Bill McLaughlin and Jane Lippincott, Walter Dean, sort of particularly encouraging in this project, distributed what I think will be the largest gift, maybe not the right word, but contribution to the professionals to help them when they were struggling with lost income during COVID. And in return, the professionals agreed to be interviewed, and the interviewing was being done by Saul and George, who do the PSA, the professional squash production. Jim Zug did the interviews. Gary Barnes sort of led the technical side for the USCTA, and we've got a very exciting 12 interviews, I guess, that will be edited and distributed in a number of different venues and for different purposes. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see some of the editing wind up with Mr. Carey for the streaming, which I think is amazing. But yes, thank you to the foundation. Thank you to the people who support that foundation. That was just unbelievable. A great thing, and now we're going to have a bit of a epistemology that's relevant to the last 30 or so years, which really has gone largely unnoticed, maybe with the exception of the rewriting of the Ronaldson book.
Whose interview are you most interested to kind of have a look at or listen to the answers?
I think I'll watch them all. I mean, the great thing about our game is like these guys are all our friends, so just be, really. I want to hear yours, obviously. You have a good story, and first starting out in Preston, under Ivan, with Ricardo maybe. Wow, sorry, playing deuce here at 5-all.
Yeah, Camden just saved 2 set points, and now he's got one of his own.
Wow.
Chase the line.
Ooh.
That's
good eyes.
That would have been one between the eyes for the marker a couple of years ago. Barney was extremely influential in actually changing the rules here in the US so that we now mark from the dead on, which is obviously much safer. I think we've all been in matches where the marker's been hit or almost hit, and particularly in this kind of match with the ball flying around, it's a dangerous spot to be. I think I can say speak for most of the professionals that no one thinks that the quality of the marking's gone down. So that looks like it was game.
Wow, Camden sneaking it out again.
Fourth set.
Yeah, John will be kicking himself there. Yeah, 2 set points. Looked like the momentum was with him. It was 5-2 down, came back. He's got to reset, refocus. Again, like we said in the previous set, these first couple of games could be crucial. If Camden gets ahead, it's going to feel like a mountain to climb for Lumley.
Yeah, for me personally, I mean, I'm not one of these guys. I'm not at this level, but for me, I'd rather lose 6-2 than come back all the way and then lose again at 6-5. I'd cut my losses.
I don't know, maybe John can take some consolation in the fact that he's keeping Camden out there. Camden's having to put the extra work in.
Hazard. Well marked.
There we go. So it's an honest bunch. Yeah, there's been a lot of close calls that the pros have called against themselves this week, and particularly with the video streaming, no one wants to get caught calling a hazard and have the evidence suggest something else. So, Ryan Carey's policing it all, I think. Maybe a couple of years we'll have Hawkeye.
He's already working on it. Great ball, Cam. That's where, if he ratchets it up, that's where he's just unbelievable. Just redirecting that main wall dead on, no problem. I'll go grill.
Yeah, he seems to read that ball way earlier than almost anyone. He's on top of it. He's expecting it. I can't, particularly when the ball's traveling at that speed, it's really difficult to tell where guys are aiming. Camden just almost seems to have like he has an extra second to think about it and get in position. What would you be thinking about if you're John here? Would you be looking to kind of keep extending the rallies, or are you, what's on your mind at the start of this fourth set?
I think stylistically, I'm not sure, but I would let Camden know good and well. Like we're going all the way here. Just act as if, right? Like when we're changing ends, I'm looking him in the eye. Every single time I can throw a fist bump, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, something we've not seen. Camden, we do tend to see that from sometimes, but it's something we're not seeing from either player, I don't think, so far as, those like visible displays of emotion. The fist pumps, the shouts, the come-ons. I marked Connor and Leon earlier, and particularly in that first set where things got tight, they were exchanging fist, come-ons, and they were trying to get a little bit of psychology in there as well.
This is in the quiet car. You know what I mean? Like, fire it up, guys. Honestly. So John's rattling off a few points here. If I'm him, I'm letting him know. Yeah. It's not the Bridge Club. Shock him. That's a good railroad.
First gallery.
Snuck over there. So this is where you'd leave out the elbow, just on the change. Give him something to think about.
I mean, I don't know about elbow, but
Receiver leads better than the second gallery.
wow. Cam. Great get, John. Great shot, Cam.
Is the first gallery.
That's a good shot. Good shot.
40-30.
Wow. Got the get.
More than a yard worse. Change ends, guys. 40-30. Sorry? Yeah. I need some.
Ryan's whipping the Chargers out. He's come to the realization he thinks that this is going to 5. That's his way of saying it.
Score is 40-30. Server leads. Chase more than a yard worse than the last.
Feel bad these guys aren't even going to get a cold plunge after this, I don't think. Do you use that? Have you done that yet?
Yeah. It's, I mean, in the moment it feels terrible, and in the hours afterwards it feels great. It's, yeah, we have it's almost like a cold bath you can electronically set the temperature to. And particularly for recovery after these long matches, or even just a very long day on court, it's really helpful. The muscles feel great afterwards. There's a couple of guys here who are into this Wim Hof method, which is a lot of cold plunges and cold showers and some breathing techniques, which I started doing during the lockdown. But yeah, the cold plunge is tough. Once you get about 30 seconds in and you can't feel any of your body anymore, it gets a little easier, but recommended if you can find one.
You just basically got to accept that death is close. That's what it feels like, at least. Cam, wow.
Really solid.
Middle that volley.
Yeah, it's hard to get an appreciation on the stream that we're watching, and obviously everyone's watching at home, how fast that ball is moving. Really, these guys are really cranking that ball around. It almost looks a little bit slower on the stream, but that's Lumley's really putting everything through that shot.
We're just slowing it down so you can see it. Serve. Well, that's a big change of events. John was up, 30, 40 love in that?
Yeah.
Shane. Now 40 love. Kim, turn it around again. Still hasn't really run in quite a few points now.
Yeah, he's Rob Faying Lumley. Yeah, just playing the balls he needs to, putting the ball away when he gets the opportunity, conserving a little bit of energy.
Second gallery. No strokes.
Oh dear.
Yeah, John's got to tighten things up here.
Stop the bleeding right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this can slip away really quickly if not.
Come on, John. Let's go.
Yeah, Camden moving back to that high serve, following it up with the bobble. Reminds me of watching a match back in 2014 here. The first time I came to New York for US Open, and I played James Stout in the first round. Unfortunately, he was way too good for me. But I stuck around for the week, and I think it was probably a quarterfinal. But watching Mike Gooding and Kieran Booth go at it in what I think must be one of the longest US Open matches ever played, and I'm not even sure it was that tight. But Mike had the high serve, probably missed 70% of them, walked back to the dead on bobble. He was, I think he's a master of controlling the tempo of the match. Normally not looking to speed it up either. But just looks like Camden, just took a little bit of air out of the match again.
Game 3-1.
Connor's walking by. He's got a drink in hand, hors d'oeuvres tucked in. Looks comfortable.
He's got a big bottle of champagne to finish tonight. I don't know whether that could get taken as carry-on.
Oh, good ball. That's a good roll.
Yeah, I think now he's out of earshot, we can compliment Connor. But I think this is previously the below zero in his previous incarnation. The Spring Invitational has been like a stepping stone for a lot of guys onto that next level, and Connor's one of those guys that you think might do that as well. John's, I think I'm right in saying John's a previous winner of the below zero. Nicky Howell as well. I know yourself. And Connor's definitely a guy, if he puts his mind to it and is able to stay fit, should be going deep in some of these opens. And I'd expect a really strong showing in these next couple of tournaments from him as well.
Not too strong. I think I play him in the pro singles in a couple weeks. So, Connor,
too bad for him.
Just enjoy that champagne. But you're absolutely right. I think if you're going to circle someone who's at a number, and that number could be 5, 8, 10 points better, probably going to circle him, you know, wild card. But trouble is, you know, he's got to decide. He's too talented. His rackets game's really improved. Does he want to go after that? Can he do both?
I know he's been working on his golf game a lot, but I don't think there's been much improvement for several years there. Maybe that's the one to drop.
Given the amount of talent on the tennis court, it's amazing the deficit of talent on the golf side. I mean, I've been golfing with James Stout, and it's just disappointing, you know what I mean, for lack of a better term. And then so many other guys I see, it's like, guys, given the amount of time you put into this, like really, I mean,
You'd expect more?
You'd expect more, right? They're no Nicky Howell, we'll put it that way.
I did hear a story about Steve Vagona, who I think joined Connor, James, and one of our great members here, big supporter of the game, Grady Durham, for a round of golf over the summer. And I think the ball was spraying all over the place, including, I think he hit the president's house off the first tee. And knowing Steve, he probably hit it pretty hard.
It's a good start. 2-3 here. Come on, John. Wow.
Don't often see the penthouse to penthouse rally at this level.
I was going to say I've seen it, but you're right, not at this level. Did you ever do a penthouse run?
No, I haven't. It was still being done. Certainly when I started the game 15 years ago, there were still people who did it. I know Phil Shannon, great guy, great Prested pro, came over to Washington as well. I know he's done a couple. He claimed to have the world record, but there was amongst several claims he made. So I don't know the veracity of it, but I think he certainly completed it several times.
I like to see a formalization of the event. You know, I think that generally speaking, it's a handicapped event, and I like to see like a main draw with like, I don't know, 8 seeds, 8 qualifiers. You know, we'll get Josh Dines or someone else to watch, but yeah, exactly. Maybe between the U.S. Open singles and doubles final. Mr. Carey will be streaming, he said. I know Freddie's planning to come with a bunch of his buddies, so Freddie, maybe you could get the draw going. Let's see it. I'm told the best way to do it. Wow.
Great shot.
See, he still got that. I mean, he doesn't really want to show it to us too much, but Camden just ripping top data on right there. Ba-bang.
Yeah, maybe a little underrated. Everyone talks about Camden for his movement and for his retrieving, but I think tonight he's shown us that actually he can mix it with the target hitting. I think it probably is underappreciated part of his game. You know, he's not only an amazing retriever, but actually he has got a lot of offense as well. And he's really showing that right now.
Well, John needs this game. That ambulance that we hear in the background might be for him. Come on, John. I remember a silver racket. I don't know. I have no clue when it was. And the fire alarm went off. And, you know, everyone wants to know right away, is it a fire or is it, you know, just a drill? And, you know, New York, they're pretty legit. They really show up quick. I'm sure it was post 9/11, which... Anyway, man, I was playing a match on the West Court, and a line of firefighters just start walking down the corridor. And I'm not sure who was more like open mouth, like in awe. Like me looking at 30 firemen walking down the corridor in full gear down the side of West Court, or them looking at us like, what's going on here? So it was just a drill. Luckily.
Love receiver leads. First chase is 1 and 2.
Camden with a couple of good chases here. Going back to that high serve.
That's it, John. Still, though, that's what I'm looking for from John. Purposeful, on it. Let's not see what happens. Hanging out with, you know, Camden in this match is like hanging out with a bomb in a room. You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time. So it's time to initiate.
They do it.
Come on.
40-15.
Adrian already gave up his dinner plan, so let's go. We might as well take this to 5. Good serve. All right, you got 1 point here. What do? You bring it?
I think he's got to try. Camden didn't give him much opportunity on that serve.
That's a good shot.
There we go.
Well done.
3 games to 4.
I did hear a come on from John, which is a good sign.
Yeah, got to be a little nastier here.
That's it.
Lost gallery.
Yeah, make Camden suffer.
Let's shoot.
Even that gallery there has a lot more purpose than some of the stuff I've seen. Disheartening.
15-1.
That's another good volley from Cam.
Full stretch.
Yeah, getting the ball on the floor from there is, yeah, it's really impressive. I can only do that if I mishit it and chunk it off the wood somehow. He seems to do it. He seems to bring that ball down, particularly on his backhand side there.
Score is 15 love, receiver leads. First chase is the last gallery. Up.
Big serve. Good gap. Smart play. Come on, lean into that.
15-all, second chase. 5 yards.
Yeah, just like the last game, you said you feel like he's got to take this game to hang on in there. It's good length.
Yeah.
30-15.
Just got great sort of hold that, go cross court, and still keep it down. It's unbelievable.
Better than 7-2.
Well, you got to win this point.
15-1 chase pending.
It's not going to happen otherwise. It's good width.
40-15 and a chase. Better than 2 yards.
Do you think John can cut that off?
I mean, I think he potentially could, but with these lefties and with Camden in particular, it's quite difficult to
Meanwhile, dead on or
to see what's if he kind of comes out the shot a little earlier, you're hitting the main wall dead on. So John doesn't want to play kind of goalkeeper and have to guess and leave one side open.
Chase better than 2.
But seemingly, you look at that serve and you're like, yeah, that's pretty good.
I thought it was a pretty good serve as well.
Good shot.
Yeah, chase off. I'm gonna go.
Ooh. Cam thought so. You heard his racket there. So, John, you better get pumped here. A little quiet on the chat. It's been 7:37. What time you got? Wow. No one for half an hour?
They're all so engrossed.
Set.
30-40.
That's big.
More than yard worth.
Gonna need a few of those.
30 and chase.
This is going 5. How's Gustav?
He's doing well. Yeah, we have a cat
40-30
at
receiver.
home.
More than yard
Creates a
worth
lot of
lost.
a lot of work.
He got an Instagram page?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
How many followers he's got?
He's got more than me, but that's not that difficult. But yeah, very popular.
Shot, John. That was big.
Gents, that's juice.
It's been a long night in the box for Josh already.
Oh,
Advantage.
that's good for him. We missed him for a while.
We did. Yeah, it's good to have him back. So that's the one where it's so difficult to tell, whether Camden's going to hit the post, hit the main wall, go almost cross court with the drive, or that one straight down the line. He just kind of holds it a little bit longer. So I think that's where John's having a challenge actually reading. Even though he must have played with Camden for hundreds of hours, it's still very difficult to take that first step, just because he has so many options.
Oh, good cut. Awesome life in the feed. Love it. Steve Hufford, great man, great player. Ran the World Masters a couple years ago. Very thankless task, but did a great job.
I think he's probably prepping for another one. Hopefully, just playing this time.
Yeah, he had us. Big point. He had us checking birth dates already. You New Yorkers, you better put the right birth dates in.
Yeah, I think we've got a few members here gearing up for that event that's going to be. I think it's being held across France. I think there's different categories. Paris, Fontainebleau, and Bordeaux are each going to have their own age categories. So I know the guys here are getting excited for it already.
I'm trying to get old enough to play in that one. I feel like I should be considered. You change my birth date in RTL?
Oh yeah, we can do whatever you want.
That's why I love working with you.
Most people ask for the handicap change. That's the one that will cost you. One of my members in Paris who actually just moved to Washington, Charlie Hurstel, was notorious for requesting the handicap adjustment.
Should come in written form in an envelope.
I can't speculate. He merited it.
Looks like Cam's just put 3 grills in this game. 2 of them were not that easy. Come on, John. Here we go. Oh, no. That's good, Gat. Good work from John. Hey, Brittany. John's better at Brittany chiming in. Let's go, John. Wow. What do you do? What do you do with that? I mean, you hit a shot that no one in the world can get except for him, and he hits a winner. Perfect.
And again, getting that ball back on the floor, which is so difficult to do.
That's a good chase, though. Yard? Whoa. We'll have to get the eagle eye on that one.
I mean, from our view here, we can't see anything worse than 2, but we'll trust Mr. Dodgson. He's got a, like you said, an eagle eye down there.
Marker's always right. Can't be wrong. It's impossible.
Yeah, better than 2. You wouldn't back against Camden. He can certainly cut that ball down. Yeah, I feel like the balls have been cutting down more and more throughout the tournament. These guys setting a lot of worse than 1s, 1 and 2s.
Oh, wow. John, a little top spin volley. We don't teach it like that.
Down, worse than 1. Deuce.
What do you think? This is deuce 5, 6? Certainly feels like it's been back and forth a little.
That's very hard luck.
Advantage and chase.
Just as easily gone in the grill. Worse than 1 here. You wouldn't say it's over yet, but worse than 1. I think he's got to go day down. I don't think Camden's going to let him beat this on the floor.
No, I think the way the balls are cutting down, almost the best you can hope for on the floor is hitting that worse than 1, unless you really slow the pace down, which I don't think he'll do.
Well, at least he's getting a second serve.
A little deep.
Wow. Ooh!
Wow.
Whoa.
Rarely seen at this level.
Now, I'm not saying that that's the point that's going to change the match, but if it does, we'll remember this conversation.
Yeah, it's a big error. I mean, particularly on a chase worse than one, you've got to get that second serve in. You know, these guys don't hit a lot of double faults at any stage of the match, let alone when they're defending one of those short chases. So that's a really surprising error from Camden.
Oh, it's still in. Good shot.
Wow.
Little emotion from Cam. I like seeing that too.
There
It
we
does
go.
matter. It always matters.
You know, and it's a game of inches there. You know, an inch higher he finds the grill. You know, his serve falls an inch further to the left, it's in. John has to be worse than one. So this is, you know, things are really hinging on those small margins in this match.
Yeah. John's out of court off the grill earlier. I think John will be disappointed there. Deuce 8,000 maybe here. You just can't give him the.
A little short there from John.
Cam's just taking two hands and ripping the cover off the ball down. Then he's taking two hands and doing the, you know, Albert Pujols into the data.
Scores advantage, server, chase 2 yards.
Odds on a double fault.
1,001.
Lost the chase in the game. 7 leads 5, games to 3.
Ricky Cipriano has his entire allowance on Cam to win. You're pretty generous though, Seth. Probably gets $1,000 a week or something. I mean,
15 love.
oh,
15 all.
he's got to attack. Got to attack. Defense is overrated.
Apparently. Wow, that's a great shot. Finding that top corner there.
That's where he's going too. It's not a fluke. With the backwards railroad.
Has a 2, 30-15 receiver leads.
Left it a little short there. That's good defense.
Very good.
Third time.
Second gallery.
Wow. Kim's very solid there.
Yeah, a couple of long chases here. You'd expect John to go back to the railroad, particularly for that hazard chase.
7 leads.
I think that might not be the worst thing for him. He's just been dropping that serve a little bit short.
Yeah. That's the one. A little shorter than that though.
30 all. Second chase is the second gallery.
Got it too deep. They read it.
Tough bounce.
You'd have had it. He's got to miss the Tambor there. He has to.
Yeah, particularly knowing Camden isn't covering the court well. That ball that just goes straight under the grill, it feels like that's his winner there.
Or he's stretching Cam, and Cam has to get it, and then he can go the other way. But
Yeah.
straight Tambor is just not that effective at this level. Great ball from Cam.
That brings up match point.
3 hours in, nearly. Better.
Yeah.
Now I got attack. Yep.
There we go.
Good serve. Good shot, Cam.
Worse than 6. Juice.
It's the Barney Tanfield serve.
Get learned. Get learned.
Great defense.
That is ridiculous.
Advantage.
He's not cutting that one down. He's smashing it in the corner of the data.
I thought he had him at a full stretch as well.
Advantage server. Chase half a yard. Worse than 6 yards.
Yeah, match point hit 2 here.
Odds on a double fault.
Time, please.
That's smart from John.
That's
Leave,
it,
leave
yep.
the ball, break
Yep.
the rhythm.
Take your breath. Put your hand up. No, he's not
It's a
going to
little
double. That's it. Game, set, match. Great job from Camden and John there. Great match.
Over an hour.
Fantastic stuff. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you the next time. Bye from New York.